Hey guys, it's Vicky. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I curl my long hair for big old floofy curls for vintage hairstyles. Yeah, you've probably been seeing a lot of like tutorials on lazy vintage hairstyles. It's like a trend. I mean, I'm not complaining. I love them and I have done quite a few lazy hair tutorials on here too. And I think that a lot of it has to do because while vintage hairstyles are beautiful, a lot of them take a lot of work and time if you want to do them like the right way. And if you have long hair, it takes even more work and it's really tiring, and specifically setting your hair in rollers, doing wet sets, pin curls. But a girl still want to look cute. Just because you have long hair doesn't mean you don't want to wake up with fluffy vintage curls sometimes. Well, what if I told you that I have a way that I do my hair and it takes about half the time? This is not like a traditional way of setting your hair for vintage hairstyles, but it works for me. I still do it. I get away with it, and like people think it looks cute and I get compliments and they never know that I cheated things. So if you want to learn, keep watching. Note that this is for longer hair, so if you have shorter hair, note that this may not work for you because you need a lot of hair to work with. But I mean, you're welcome to keep watching. And for those that want to say that I technically don't have long hair, technically I do for long vintage hairstyles. I've gotten a few comments here saying, "Your hair's not that long." Yes, it is. Here, let me show you. It's like right there. So anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling and show you guys my technique for how I set my hair for floofy vintage hairstyles. And there's actually two ways I do it, so bonus for you. All right, so let me walk you through my first lazy method and really quickly show you the items that I use. I use a hair tie, these foam rollers, rag curl hybrid thingies that I DIY'd myself. I actually have a video on here on how I just use these, a paddle brush, my setting foam, I like the one by Jane Carter Solution, and some water. First, I make sure that my hair is all brushed out and it's easy to work with and there are no tanglies anywhere. And once that's done, you can go right into putting all of your hair up at the top of your head in a really high ponytail. Nice. And if you're feeling extra lazy, you can go directly into this. This is the way I do it sometimes. However, if you want a little bit more framing and definition, before you do that, I like to take some of the strands at the front and sides of my head and do those into some individual rolls, just because I like the way my hair frames my face a little better and it looks more authentically vintage when you do this. It's kind of an extra step and part of the original way of setting your hair, but it really doesn't take that much longer. So I probably do like maybe 4 rollers at the top and top sides of my head. And then on the sides, I do 2 pin curls. And this is because I don't really like sleeping with rollers on the sides of my head, like at my temples. It kind of bothers me. So I find that the flat pin curls, one on each side, makes a huge difference. And this is just like personal for me. You don't have to do this. You can just do the roller there if you want. And then once I have the rollers all around the front of my head, then I go up to the high pony. And like I said, you can just go directly to this. It depends how detailed you want to be. If you're feeling extra lazy, you can do less rollers at the front or no rollers. And then once I have my pony all nice and tight and pulled through, I wet it and I add a little bit of my setting foam. I make sure, because I have long hair, that I don't wet it too much because I find that sometimes it won't be fully dry the next day. So just a tip for you, if you find that your hair is not drying all the way through at night, you can also go in before you take these out with a hair dryer, which helps set them too. And then I just literally roll everything into place, and it's super easy. It takes me about 10 minutes, and I usually do this when I'm watching like a TV show or something. I don't put a lot of like detail or attention to this. It's just a really lazy way of doing it. I don't even look in the mirror. I'm literally sitting on my couch watching Netflix when I do this. And I actually got this idea from doing my poodle hair, because when I would do my poodle hair, I would find that I liked the way my curls looked after, because I do my poodle hair as pin curls, and I would find my hair really bouncy, and I'm like, hey, why don't I just set my hair like this? It takes like half the time because you're only rolling like halfway through at the top, and it's not that much of an effort, and you don't really have to pay attention to how you're doing it. And the next day I would find that I would just have floofy, like all over the place, pretty curls. And that's it. Once it's all rolled into place, this is how it looks all around. You can just put a headscarf on, tie it on, and call it a night and go to bed. Ugh. Okay, so it is the next morning. Slept with these. They did not bother me. Everything held in place, nothing unraveled. And now we just go and take these babies out and style the hair. Ooh. Hey, can they help you? I feel like I look like a 1700s Rococo fashion girl who like went out partying and this is the next day hair. Okay, anyways, now I just take them out and look at the bounce of that first curl. So beautiful and sexy. You gotta love freshly set curls. So I start by taking out the ones at the front. I just find that it's easier this way, and then I just take out the rest of the curls that are sitting at the top of my head. And I may or may not have gotten a roller really stuck in there and had to ask Mason to bring me a pair of scissors to cut it out. This usually doesn't happen, but it does. Usually because I rolled it too tight. Oops. Moving on. Once I have all of the rollers out, I just pull out my hair tie and reveal all of my curls, which I then just brush out and style the way that I usually do. And just really quick before I do brush it out, I want to show you what it looks like all around. As you can see, they're pretty tight curls. Obviously, they weren't rolled all the way through, so when I do brush my hair out, I usually don't brush it out too much. I don't either way because my hair is long, and because it's long and heavier, it usually falls faster. So I try to not brush it too much, especially when I use this method, because I don't really need to. Usually you brush it a lot at the top and center because the curls are there and you end up looking like Shirley Temple if you don't. But with this method, you don't really have to because you didn't curl all the way to the top. So you just have your curls at the bottom. It's a matter of personal preference and how you like to style it. Some people like more curls, some people like less. Today I was feeling more curls. And as you can see, I also use my hands a lot. I pull through and avoid using the brush too much. This is how I set my hair. Add some pomade, some hairspray, whatever you need to keep that top part down a little more. And then
5 minutes later,
I take everything out, add some hair flowers, and get done. As you can see, for me, my hair comes out with a lot of volume and with very bouncy curls. Now to show you method number 2, which is even lazier and easier than method number 1. So again, with my hair brushed out, I'm gonna set some curls at the top of my head to frame that front section of my hair. Again, optional, like everything else is optional. It just depends on how you want to do it. And then I take my hair and I split it into 2 low ponytails. And if you see Charlie there doing a little dance in the background this entire time, it's because he wanted his squeaky toy so badly and couldn't wait. Don't worry, he got it later, and now he's barking while I'm recording this voiceover. Always has to insert himself in some way or another. Anyways, once I had the hair in 2 low ponytails on each side of my head, I added some water, a little bit of my setting foam, and I curled away the same way I did at the top of my head, except now at the bottom sides of my head. Like I said, this method is even easier. Your hands are not like above your head, so I find that I also get less tired too, and it's just easier to work at the bottom sides of my head. So I don't know, just something to put out there. I would say the major difference is that you have a little less volume with this technique, and the hair will, depending on your texture, is more straight for the top half. But yeah, once everything is rolled into place, I just go to bed and I wake up the next day with curls. This is me the next day. Let me show you what these curls look like. I mean, pretty much the same to the other curls, but like I said, with a little less volume. Just take everything out. They make for some cute ponytails too, let me tell you. Pull the hair ties out, and there you go. And again, I don't brush these out too much, and actually these give you almost like a natural indentation if that's what you like when it comes to vintage hair, if you're trying to do like 1940s styles. So something else to note. So here it is, all styled. It looked real pretty, and like, I like especially for this one when it falls, they look like very soft, light curls. Floofy curls. Floofy, floofy, floofy. This is basically how I curl my long hair for vintage hairstyles, the lazy way. Hopefully, it saves y'all ladies with long hair some time. I think it's especially great right now since a lot of us don't want to work that hard to get ready or look super cute, since we don't really have anywhere to go, or even when you're just like in a rush to do it, or you don't have the energy like to do your hair, but you know you want to have those curls the next day and you're gonna regret it if you didn't do it. Yeah, this is kind of like my method for when I feel that way, which is practically like all the time, even before quarantine. So it's nice to not look like a hobo all the time. Honestly, lately I've had not a lot of energy to curl my hair, so this is the way I've been doing my curls. I'm not gonna lie, unless it's for videos, I'm not really doing my hair these days. So all right, I'm gonna go now to watch a bunch of episodes of The Office and Gilmore Girls and Grey's Anatomy. By the way, if you have any show recommendations, let me know down below. I would love to hear them, or so that other people reading the comments know too what to watch. If anyone has any cool show recommendations or movies or anything like that, I would love to hear. Or any books too. I'm looking for more things to read. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and to subscribe if you have not already. I would love to have you back on here. As always, sending you a super duper big virtual hug. Remember that I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.